Hari Om. So I shall continue this comparative religions, part number 2, Hinduism versus Christianity. So first you should go through my part number 1 very correctly, because I have given, briefly I will tell you what I have given in part 1 about these scientific findings. Number 1, matter cannot be created or destroyed. Please put this in your mind firmly. That's Antonio Velazquez, the French royal prince, findings approved by later on all the big scientists, whether you take von Braun or whether you take Dr. Einstein. It's a well settled tenet. Point number 2, double slit experiment and quantum erasure experiment, where when you observe an electron, it behaves like a particle, and if you do not observe, it behaves like a wave. That is a double slit. No, when you mount a gun, same everything, and start shooting within these two slits, chocolate bar like that, the impression on the white screen at the back will be same when you start observing. But just the same gun, same thing, you turn your head the other side and don't observe, it will behave, it will be spread all over the backside the white screen. Behaves like a wave. That's what quantum erasure says. Very clearly they have proved. You can go through that. In the YouTube you can see. So matter, that is what is the electrons, behave like a the particle on observations, and that is dissolved when you don't observe. That is Maya. Let's come. I'm coming to that. And so, and the point, next point, in the biological experiment I have told you, if my cell from my body, you take it, a scientist takes and cultures it 30 miles away in a lab, in a disk, and then another engineer or a scientist takes the same cell and measures EEG, electroencephalogram, just like your electrocardiogram, ECG, on a graph sheet, the electrical output of my cell, and the scientist there at the same drop of time measures my electrical current output, impulse output on the graph sheet. Both are same. 30 miles away, this experiment was done by Steve Wax about 100 years back, I think, roughly. At the time, no your mobile or no your connectivity, you can connect your trigger 30 miles, your connection, nothing. It is simply, even today, you can demonstrate. Simply taking the cell here and 30 miles, he found the electronic impulse on the graph sheet plotted is exactly the same what is happening here right now in my body, the cell here, and right now what's happening 30 miles away in a disk. That distance means electrons know each other. This is biology. Scientifically also, Ian Bell's theorem of inequality. What happens to electrons, pair of electrons from the same energy source, one I catch it here and one I throw it away. Electrons are nothing but subatomic particle in an atom. Inside you have the nucleus, and inside the nucleus you have the protons and the nucleons, and outside the nucleus you have the electrons whirling, swinging around. That's the same. And protons and electrons are same. One is positive, one is negative. So I throw it away and the electron travels almost at the speed of light, 2,99,958 or something. Say for a practical example, almost at the speed of light, 300,000 kilometers per second. So after 10 seconds, you would have traveled billions of miles away. Okay, forget it. Now if I start measuring it, suppose it's clockwise rotating, the pair knows billions of kilometers away this measurement, and it will start behaving. It's affected by the measurement of here, and it will go even anti-clockwise. This is, the measurement of one affects the measurement of the other. That means they are all interconnected. Okay. This is the first scientific principle I am going to base how Hinduism scientifically proves. What a beauty we have. No other Abrahamic religion, sorry, they never even come near about it. No, let me come. I am going to tell you why we believe in rebirth. Bhagavan Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse number 22, Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grihnati narah aparani tata Sharirani vihaya jeernani anyani samyati navani. The dehi, the atma, vasamsi, just like you and me, we throw our cloth, the shirt, the vastram, throw it away. It is bad or something, I mean it's dirty. Jeernani means digested. And then navani, see, vasamsi jeernani yatha vihaya navani grihnati naraha. Naraha, the man, we, grihnati, accept, navani, new. So navani grihnati naraha aparani, another new garment we put. After 8 hours we throw it away and we wear a fresh garment. That is a principle, right? Common understood principle. Tatha, same way, sharirani vihaya jeernani, digested body is thrown away by the atma. Anyani samyati, praveshanam, enters. Samyati means entering. Anyani samyati, new, navani, dehi. The new body is, the atma enters a new body. That's all, simple. So what does it mean? It supports the theory that matter cannot be created or destroyed. So I have written a book called Do You Really Die? It is available in e-Kindle and also in the electronic format in Google Books. You can see that. All my books are there. It's all just, I've deliberately priced it at around $1. So you can see those books. You can even capture those, what I have said. So what does it mean? Your body dies only, but body doesn't die. Wait, let me come to that. It only changes its form. Matter cannot be created or destroyed. What happens? Another example I will quote from Gadhopanishad, verse number 7. Damadharma Raja tells a young boy Nachiketa the secret of afterlife of death. He says, Yonim manye prabadhyante shariradvaya dehinaha sthanum anye anusamyanti yatha shrutha yatha kartha. That's all. He brings out the concept of punarjanma and punarmarana. The soul, the atma, yonim anye prabadhyante. We know through the womb of the mother, every female womb, yonim anye prabadhyante. It comes through that also, even for animals, cows, dogs. Yonim anye prabadhyante, human beings. Yonim anye prabadhyante shariradvaya, through a sharira. Sharira may be a man, Sharira may be a dog, Sharira may be a lion, or Sharira may be a deer. All the Shariras, any Sharira, any body. Yonim anye, another, prabadhyante, it forms. Yonim anye prabadhyante Sharira dvaya, through the Sharira, Sharira dvara, Sharira dvaya dehina. Dehi means here in this context you can take it as a Atma, other body. Sthanum anye anusamyanti. Now, not only the womb, sthanum, tree. Sthanum means permanent, fixed. Sthanunathan, we have a beautiful temple in Nagarkot. It's called Sthanunathan only, but permanent Swami. Nirantaram. Sthanum anye anusamyanti, it enters. How it enters? Yatha, shruta, yatha, karta. What you have done, your actions, as per your actions, good or bad. And yatha shruta, as per your knowledge you have acquired. You see, we acquire knowledge. We know we should not do evil. We should not steal. We should not commit murder. But still some do. Some small percentage of terrorists kill. That's very wrong. Because as you do that in the previous birth, the next birth, equally you will be in a sorrow state if you commit evil in the previous birth. The enjoyment you have obtained by stealing another man's wealth, the same, and the sorrow he is undergoing, the equivalent amount in the same weight, mass or degree, whatever it is, you will have in the next birth when you be converted to that man and he converted to you, to undergo the same sufferings and or sorrows, so that they cancel. There is nothing called reward or punishment by the God. God doesn't punish you or reward you. These were written by earlier this thing to just control the human beings who don't possess knowledge. So they have to be a little bit scared, just like you have the modern law. If you steal, you will undergo 7 years of imprisonment in a jail, for example. So Vedic knowledge is like this, absolutely written 7,000 years. This Gadopanishad and all 5,000 6,000 years back before the common era. 5,000 6,000 means about from today is about 6,000 7,000 years. So that means Yata Shruta. So Yama is very clearly explained. You have to undergo the Punarjanma and Punarmarna in this Maya and the world of Maya. So matter cannot be created or destroyed. Whatever matter was created in the first 3 seconds of the Big Bang stays. That is what Higgs bosons also say. 10,000th of a trillionth of a second, the atom, the boson, which is a subatomic, smaller than even the electron. You have the quarks, upside quarks, downside quarks, fermions, bosons, and all. You have lot. As about subatomic, not an atom, subatomic. So once within 3 seconds it was created, matter is, that's all. No further matter is created or destroyed. Higgs boson lives for the 10,000th of a trillionth of a second and changes its form. That is what Yamadharmaraja tells. See, the Atma goes and the dead body is burned, for example. It is converted into sulfur or carbon or water vapor, whatever it is, hydrogen or sulfur or carbon or even iron, small particles, maybe plutonium. We don't know. We have no 92 elements in. When I was studying physics, we had 92 elements in physics. Now it must be 100 or something. Some additionals have been done, I think. Even you have uranium 235, which 92 protons and 143 neutrons in the atom, in the nucleus. An equal amount of electrons to neutrons, to protons. 92 electrons also will be there. That is not counted. What is inside? That is so. The atoms change the form. They convert even this Higgs boson out of 1,000 times, 2 times they become protons. That's what the findings say. They change fast. So the dead body is not actually dead when it is cremated. The equal weight is there through sulfur or iron or carbon or hydrogen, whatever it is. And the energy and matter. Energy also gives energy to some other. It goes and enters some other. This energy is the life force, is your Atma. So matter cannot be created or destroyed. That's what Bhagavad Gita or Gadopanishad says. Which Abrahamic religion says like this? They say you are born. If you do bad, you will be going to heaven, and judgment day you will be sentenced to death, sentenced to hell. God, who created your body? You created or God created? God created. Why did He create? Have so much of differences in creation? One born in a rich man's family, one born in slum, one born blind, one born dumb, one have some neurological problems. So many variations, sir. It's common sense. Apply your common sense. Thiruvalluvar says beautifully, Nunniya nool pala karpinum matrum tan ummai arive bigum. Nunniya nool, you would have studied a lot of books and all, okay. But your common sense, your own original knowledge surpasses everything. So you use your own brain. Which Abrahamic religion talks like this? How can God punish you and reward you when He has created your body? Why He can't prevent your sins? Okay, He has given you a free will, but He should also guide you. Now with one birth, you cannot be judged. That's what Hindu says. You have to experience your own sorrow and pleasure. Nobody can die for you, for your sins. If you have committed your sins, you have committed that much, in the next birth will come. Because the world will, the universe will exist for 311 trillion years as per 100 years of Brahma. You see my book, A Search in Secret, Sacred Hinduism, which is again in e-Kindle, and in all these books are there in Google Pay e-formats, Google Books e-format I have published there. I have given the calculations, and Carl Sagan and all the famous NASA people admire the calculations in Hinduism. Admire. These are all done much earlier. 100 years of Brahma is equivalent to modern 311 trillion years. That is where the universe, up to that point, the universe will live, and there can be a big crunch, at the pralaya. There will be a big crunch, and the world will disappear, and again it may start, as per Brahma's wish. His 100 years is over. See the beauty, sir. See the beauty in Hinduism. That is one. Now you come to the next portion, which is the double slit experiment and the quantum experiment, which says that the electrons or the subatomic particles on observation behave like a particle, otherwise behave like a wave. These two. Now, how does it? That is what, if you read Mandukya Upanishad, the Rishi says, Mayaya vidyate hi ajam, Mayaya vidyate hi ajam, na katanchana, tatvat vidyamane hi martyatam amritam vrajet. Mayaya vidyate hi. Tat, this ajam means the birthless, na kathanchana, not by any other means, only by mayaya, tritiya vibhakti, by maya, this ajam, this birthless, mayaya vidyatehi, only by maya vidyate, you see the duality. Vidyate means splitting. That is, you see the various mountains, rivers, yourself, you are different from God, or you are different from this, only by Maya. Because you actually do not exist. The differences do not exist, that's Artha. Differences do not exist of the Ajam, the birthless. Tattvat vidyamanehi, if it is like that, if the Maya is not in operation, and it is, if really there is a separation, differences amongst humans, amongst a man and a tiger, and a man and an animal, and a man and a tree, or the man and the universe, if there is a difference, martyatam amritam vrajet, amritam, the immortality, goes to mortality. The immortality becomes mortality because the immortality is a state of permanence, and it has to be immortal permanently. It cannot change its form. It cannot create something which is different from it. That means it also becomes mortal. It also becomes mortal. The immortality becomes mortal. If immortality cannot be infinite today and tomorrow infinite plus one, there is no meaning then for the word infinite. It cannot expand. It cannot do creations further and further. Or it cannot change itself, because its qualities, it is a nirgunaha arupi. That's what the Vedas says. That's what Buddha also says. It is a state of unborn, uncreated, unmanifested. And if there is no such state of unborn, uncreated, and unmanifested, there is no escape for the born, the created, and the manifested. Buddhism and Hinduism are same, except Adi Shankaracharya says that state has intelligence. That intelligence is God. And Buddha keeps quiet. But this is a practical philosophy. What you do, you see the movie called Matrix. The young boy, the hero, the actor, he brings a spoon, and the boy bends it, and he says, hey, it's bending. No, the young boy, Buddhist boy, says, it's not bending. I am bending your mind. The spoon is actually not there. See, the concept that we are not really existing but only through Maya is a concept we have to understand, but practically it may be difficult to experience it or practice it, to say that I am not existing. Because under Maya is so powerful like a gravity that it will pull you down to Maya and think Maya is permanent. That is one aspect. That is what in double slit experiment, if you observe the world, it is a particle formation. But if you don't observe, it is a total bliss, in a deep sleep as you have. It's a wave. That is what I brought the double slit experiment for you. Okay, my dear friends, I shall continue more of this in my part 3. Till such time, Bhuyat, Tavat, Shubha Mangalam. Thank you.